old. My country gave me a gun and sent me to Iraq and asked me to protect people that I'd never met, and I thought that sounded like a noble thing. I believed in it. And then I got there. For the first month and a half or so, we did that. We helped people. And then on February 16th, 2004, Sergeant Jason Marilla, a friend of everyone in our platoon, everyone, was killed by an IED on his way back from a routine supply convoy from Mosul in northern Iraq. I was on that convoy. I was in the second vehicle, the 5-ton, on the 50 caliber machine gun. Intel analysts usually don't ride on convoys and man machine guns, but we didn't have enough men in our area of operations, so we all pulled convoy duty. We all pulled that. I watched Sergeant Marilla die. He was in the Humvee. He was cut in the back of the head by shrapnel. And he bled out in another soldier's arms. From that moment on, it wasn't about protecting anyone but ourselves and our battle buddies. We went from a force that was there to help to a force that was there to find the other, the enemy, whoever was attacking us. And we never stopped to ask who they were or why they were doing it. It didn't matter to us. We were trying to survive. So as an intel analyst, I was tasked with finding our high-value targets. We'd take closed and open source intelligence, and we'd take this information and try to determine who the people were that were laying the IEDs and who the people were that were associating with Al-Qaeda in Iraq, a group that didn't exist in Iraq before we went there in 2003, but that existed in 2004. And we would break into people's homes at 3 o'clock in the morning. We would kick their doors down. We would be greeted by terrified people. We would separate all the men and women, and we would search them, and we would detain them. We would put black or green empty sandbags over their heads. We'd put them into our armored personnel carrying vehicles, and we'd drive them out to our forward operating base, Bob Folda. And one at a time, we'd pull these people out. The youngest we ever took in was 13. The oldest was 74. We called these people of fighting age. We took them out of the vehicles. We put them on their knees one at a time. And one at a time, we brought them over to a crude slab of concrete for processing. We tied their hands above their head. They had often urinated or defecated on themselves, so we sprayed them off with a hose. And we put them in an orange jumpsuit and put them in a room that was 4 glass walls made of plexiglass and a normal kind of house roof. And that was our detainee holding area. And there, we would make them stand for 10, 12, 14, 24, 48 hours. All of this time, I wouldn't sleep. No one would sleep when we had detainees. And we would question them. We would try to get information from them, try to decide what they knew. We would try to see if they had any information. We were determining whether or not they were of value to us.